everywhere if you found these all kind of rebels, they are not only targeting the aid workers. If you go on, I think you are better, you know much better awareness and information and knowledge than me, being the specialist person of the media. You know, they are targeting the shrines also. They have been targeting the shrines, and they have been taking all the people out of the grave. They have been demolishing the shrines in Somalia, in Sudan, and maybe in near Djibouti, some other places also. So this is a specific ideology, a very, very extremist ideology within Islam. This is a sect, the same sect which has given rise to the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. All these Al-Qaeda, Taliban people belong to a specific sect of Muslims. They don't belong to Ahlul Sunnah. They don't belong to Sufi path of Islam. They don't belong to mystic and Sufi interpretation of Islam or the Sunnah interpretation of Islam. They belong to a very narrow, I don't want to name them, you can understand, a very narrow extremistic interpretation of Islam, very, very narrow. If you find all over the world, wherever these terrorists and militants are working, they belong to same origin, with same faith, same theology. None of them ever has emerged ever from other school of thought. So the question is, because they are against the shrines, they are against Sufism, they are against spirituality, they are against celebration of Mawlid, celebration of the birthday of Holy Prophet, and they are against the spiritual traditions of the Muslim community. The only difference is, some people, those who are known to be non-violent extremists, they sit behind, they provide them theology, they provide them encouragement, they encourage them morally, theologically, they encourage them academically, but they themselves don't go and fight on the front. So they are their supporters. They sit in the mosque, they sit in the madrasas, they work with the governments. And let me say that we won't be able to eliminate these things unless we start our counter-terrorism or counter-extremism war right from non-violent extremism. And I am afraid that I have seen all over the world, it may be, I don't know whether it would be taken as a good suggestion or not, but I have seen everywhere in the Western world, non-Muslim world, these people who are well-wishers of extremists and terrorists, who are intellectual supporters, who are their informers, their well-wishers, those who in their depth of their hearts, they believe that their activities are right and they are doing good with the Western powers. They love them, but apparently they are friends with the Western governments. They are working with them. They have been engaged by the Western governments. In every single country I have found the same situation, and I am shocked by why this thing is happening. Are the Western governments still unable to identify between their enemies and friends? They can't identify, differentiate. Who are the real people? So those people who indirectly have links with those people and wishes and soft hearts with those people, still they have been engaged by the governments everywhere in the name of cohesion, in the name of, the social cohesion, in the name of working with the Muslim communities, in the name of engaging the Muslim leaders and communities. Everywhere they are at the front. In every single office you will find them. They work them and they inform them. And they prepare the papers, they prepare the policies for the governments, Western and non-Muslim governments, those who sincerely are fighting against terrorism. But the papers to deal with tackling terrorism and tackling extremism are being prepared, the advice papers, by those who are in fact the well-wishers of the extremists. So they put them on wrong track. The same thing is in Somalia.
Okay, so let's be clear about those two things. Are you suggesting that these people are actually spies for the militants?
Everybody is not a spy among them, but there can be, many of them can be spy, not everyone. For example, if there are 100 people working with the same group, maybe 5 to 10 people can do the same thing. But even if they are not spies, their ideology is same. If you go back towards their history, toward their background, they have emerged through same books which they read, the same books they read. They read the same books as their text in their study circles. I don't need to mention the names of the scholars. They are influenced by the same scholars, and the same scholars and their books and writings have influenced them. They both use the same authorities. Their ideology, their theology, way of thinking, way of interpreting certain things, and way of looking at the whole global situation is same.
Okay.
So they have soft and corner for them. They are their well-wishers. So whenever they prepare the strategy for the governments, that strategy is not based on sincerity. So they put them just in different tracks.
So, I mean, one thought about that.
And they get the funds also. They are being funded everywhere. And through their funds, they are strong. They are now, through the funds and help, financial support, they have become the sole representatives of the Muslim community in every Western country. So since they are now, they are getting funds from other Arab countries, and they are getting funds from the Western countries in the name of tackling terrorism and extremism, and from other countries in the name of promoting their ideology. So this is a double game going on everywhere. That's why we are not going on the right track, and the proper results which we supposed to come are not coming up.
There is a thought that they say that keeping your enemy close,
yeah,
you understand what they're doing. Do you subscribe to that?
No. This philosophy is right. I endorse it. But this is being wrongly applied. Keeping your enemy close is something different. But supporting your enemy with funds and money and depending on them is something different. So keeping them close is just a matter of engagement. Engagement is fine. It should be done. But here, not only engagement, encouragement is being done. When they are getting millions and millions of dollars and pounds as their funds for the last 20 years. Everywhere they are representing them. And they are preparing the papers, advice papers, the whole summaries. I have thousands of pages written, hundreds and thousands of pages for the last many, many years prepared by them as tackling terrorism and how tackling extremism and new policy and new agenda. And when you go to the inland security departments, the state departments, and all those departments, those who are concerned with this matter of extremism, you go, every single place where a Muslim should be sitting, you find the same person from the same group would be sitting there. Not a single person belonging to any other group or sect is allowed. And if anybody goes, they push them out with their intrigues, with their conspiracies. So keeping your enemy close is a good aspect, it's a strategy. But this is not happening. What is happening there is different from that. They are being encouraged, they are being financed, they are being supported, and their centers and everything getting finance from both sides. And they are being promoted and they are becoming powerful. So it is not only keeping your enemy close, you are, through your support, you are making your enemy powerful. Same thing happened in Pakistan. This terrorism has not started just 10 years before. Being a Pakistani, I know the whole story and whole history. And I used to inform General Pervez Musharraf sitting one by one. We used to take more than 3-hour session one by one. I used to explain to him, whatever is going on, that's totally wrong. Because the money, for example, the Western governments, they are giving for to a certain country for counter-terrorism. Some part of the money is being spent on the war on terror, and the major part of the same money is going on the financial sponsorship of the same groups.
Where else is that happening though, besides Pakistan?
Everywhere. When I speak of Pakistan, I know many countries, but I won't mention any other name. I know many countries in Western world. But no need to mention my name. Those countries, their parliaments know themselves. These have been discussed on the floor of the parliaments. The committees have been formed. Now they are stopping the funding. The officers came to meet me in different countries. The very, very high officials engaged in counter-terrorism and the top head of the counter-terrorism and inland security and the secret agencies, top heads, many times in different countries met me. I explained everything to them. And some of them said, yes, we have been committing wrong, errors. So they know the things are being discussed on the floor of parliament. And now they are stopping, in some countries they are they are stopping, withdrawing their financing. It means they knew it. They are realizing now. But still there are very, very big countries where these, I would say, well-wishers, in Arabic term, these people are known as al-Qa'diyya, the sitters, those who sit behind. I have written this term in my book, Fatwa. The great scholars of Islam have mentioned some people as Khawarij, the Kharijites, those who fight on the front against the governments, against the people, they do public massacre and public killing. These are Khawarij. And they have one group. They don't fight on the front. They are known to be peaceful people. They are non-violent. They sit behind. Since they sit behind and support them ideologically in a hidden way, so their term was given in very old classical days in Islamic history. They were known as al-Qa'diyya. Qa'd and Qu'ud means sitting. So they sit behind. They say, no, we are very peaceful people. We condemn them. They condemn them verbally. And the fighters know that this condemnation is just a game. So they are friends on both sides. So unless I have spoken this thing everywhere, but unfortunately no television put these words on air. Whenever my interview was on air, all this portion was cut off. I will see what happens to SBS, but I have been speaking everywhere. Okay. I speak at stake of my own life, but the TV, they are not in a position. So I told to General Musharraf, they were the terrorists. Those started killing of the people in the form of sectarian issues. Right in the beginning of 80s, 1980, 81, 82, there were sectarian killings. This terrorism started from sectarian killings and ended up to the present form of global terrorism. So it is a phenomenon of more than 30 years. I told him, but these are small, small snakes at this time. I told General Musharraf, even in the end of 90 and beginning of 2000. These are very small snakes. If you are sincere to eliminating and to finish them, that it will take only 15 days. You can finish them. But this is a different way. On one way, one body is holding stick to try to hit him, and the evening the other people are appointed to provide them the milk and the food, and they are being sponsored. Now, this thing won't work. Then a time will come, they will become anaconda and big snakes. Then they will attack on you. Then you will realize what is happening. But unfortunately, the same process may be without proper awareness, without proper identification, because the whole game, which are, for example, are being played in a certain religion, the other people belonging to other cultural religions, they don't know the depths and details. I know the Western government is very difficult to them to understand the whole phenomena, but at least it is not difficult to understand what kind of books they study, which is the most popular author among these people, those who are there engaged and who are their well-wishing, who are their partners. They can know which kind of books they have been studying and who is the main scholar, which are the scholars who have influenced them. And then they can study who have influenced them, which is the commonality of the ideology. They will easily realize. They go to the backside, just 25 years behind the Pakistan, their father, their forefather, their friends, their whole, they will identify who they are. Everybody can know. It is a matter of 5 minutes.
Okay, so finally,
yeah.
Is it a matter of stupidity by Western governments?
No, I don't say stupidity.
Ignorance? Or a will?
Ignorance is a matter of a little bit of ignorance, or maybe sometimes a matter of adopting a wrong policy, as you say, that to keeping the enemy close, it's better. So this is a wrong application of this, you can say, this idea, and sometimes not being properly aware of the situation. And sometimes, since they have become more vocal and active and professional, these people are more professional because they came in the Western countries 40, 50 years before. They studied here. They became engineers, they became doctors, they became lawyers, they became different professionals. So they are very nice to speak. They have good command to express, good command to write. They command to manipulate and to maneuver the things. Other people were, and because of they got positions and they got engagement, they got the chance of participation. So it helped them, encouraged them more to become more powerful. And they got support from some other Arab countries and proper sheikdoms. So that financial support made them more powerful, and remaining peaceful, silent majority